Hi Flosstube, I'm Nancy Quilting Stitcher, and this is part B of video, I believe it's 34, Flosstube 34, part B. This is going to be of kind of my rough plans, if you will, for 2018. These are not something I'm going to get all the way to because I'm not that fast of a stitcher, but these are what I have kitted up. And some are in project bags, some I have in this basket. When I finish a project in one of the project bags, then one of these will move into my project bags. These are my sooner rather than later starts. Okay, let's get to it. I'm gonna be reaching. I have a lot. Okay, this is something I am going to finish in 2020, is the Year of Celebrations by Hands On Design. I have all but 3 of these to do. Or no, I only have 3 left to do. April, May, and August are what I have left. And I am stitching these just on some random pieces of, I think most of them are coffee and tea dyed pieces of fabric that are in my stash. So just little scraps. These are not very big when they're finished. I think on 14 count Ada they come to like 4x4, 3x3, something like that. So they're not very big. So I plan on finishing those this year. Next is, okay, I'm not sure if I showed you these in my last video because I didn't re-watch it. This is the second time I've done this video. I did this video right after I did my, right after I recorded my first one, and I could not get it to upload. It would not upload at all, and I spent most of the day trying to get it to upload. So I decided I'm going to start over. So I deleted it and I'm starting over. So if I've showed this before, I'm sorry, but I'm not 100% sure I did. So every year I do a set of ornaments, and I work on these only on Sundays. So I'll start this on the first Sunday of the month. I'll start this coming Sunday, and then I only stitch on them on Sundays. If I get them all done within, the first 2 Sundays, then the last 2 Sundays are open to whatever I want to stitch. And so this year the ornaments I chose are Prairie Schoolers, Santas and Snowmans, and it's book 151. This is a reprint. It's not the original cardstock. And I am going to be stitching these on this fabric. I think it's called Dirty Linen, Dirty Ada, I think is the colorway of it. But I think that the white, because there's a lot of white, because there's snowmen and, snow and stuff, that it will really pop on this. I hope the lighting is okay tonight, because when I was filming earlier it was daylight and I was able to have my window open, or my blinds open, and now it's dark, so the only light I have is above my head. All right, next project. I am going to stitch these charts. These are where you buy the thread pack and then you get the chart for free. These are by Little House Needleworks. It's Long May She Wave, Home of the Brave, Land of the Free. And they all have the threads in them. So they're all ready to go. The fabric I chose, I believe it's by Picture This Plus, and I'm not sure the name of it. It's got some red. It's a tan color, but it's got some reds and blue splotches in it, and I thought that would look really good. So those will be stitched this year. The next thing I have kitted up is by Brenda Gervais with by Needle and Thread, and it's called Harriet Elizabeth Coe. It's a sampler. I love this sampler. I loved it the first time I saw it. I think it was Saltback Stitcher that showed it the first time I saw it. And I bought this off of Country Sampler's website. And I've kitted it up with, I'm doing DMC, and I believe the fabric color is called Parchment. And Michelle Rudy is starting a sale on February 1st, I believe, for this chart. So I may start it then. I haven't decided. The next thing I have kitted up and ready to go. I actually have started this series. I started it in December, and I had an unexpected finish before the end of the year, which I'll show in my regular video. Hopefully I have it fully finished in my regular video. But I decided this year I wanted to stitch the Word Plays series with the Needle and Thread. And so I stitched January. Didn't think I would get it done that fast, and it was actually a really fast stitch. So I have it finished, and so my next one to do is February. And I hope if I get these done this year, I get them done this year. If I don't, I don't. But as fast as that first one went, I'm thinking I'll have it done. I am doing my own color conversion, and I'm stitching it on. I don't know what color this fabric was originally, but when I started stitching January's, I got one of the words done, and I decided that it was too light and I didn't like it, so I just took all of the pieces I had cut and dunked them in some tea and coffee dye, and it made it darker. I don't know if that's better or not. So they're all going to be stitched on the same thing. So that one is ready to go. All right, my next one is, this came out at market last year, and first time I saw it, I loved it. I bought it, and I wanted to stitch it. I got it kitted up, and I never did start it. So I want to get this started this year, and it's American Farmhouse by the Scarlet House. And again, I don't know the colorway, but I'm stitching it on. That is really not even showing up. It's kind of a grayish brown, and it's really dark, and I think that it will look. It almost looks like the color that it's called for, which was Edinburgh Bark from Weeks Dye Works. And of course I'm using Ada, but it looks about the same color. That will be started this year. All right, the next thing I have is, okay, this is the Surprise Schooler February. I am considering this a ongoing WIP. I have 6 of them stitched and finished, and I'm just doing them. I just am randomly picking them. I'm not, stitching for the month that's coming up or anything. So February is the next chart I pulled out. So this will be started very soon, and I am stitching it on the called for lamb's wool on 14 count Ada. The called for color is lamb's wool. So that one is kitted and ready to go, and will be started soon. All right, the next thing I have kitted up is, this right there. This is by Stony Creek. There are, I believe, 6 charts. You can either stitch them separate or together. And I am choosing to stitch them together. And that's what it will look like. I'm using the Call For fabric, which is Legacy by Picture This Plus. And 14 count, either 28 count or 14 count is the Called For fabric. And I am using all of the Called For colors. So here's the fabric, Legacy. And I'm using all the call for colors, and I also have all of the buttons. So that's one thing I want to get started. I had this kitted up and I was going to start it, I believe, a couple of years ago or a year ago, and it never happened, and so I'm hoping I get it started this year. Alright, the next thing I have kitted up is I have actually decided I have all of the Prairie Schooler Santas with the exception of 1997. I cannot find that one. So, but I have all the other ones. And I have, these are my working copies, so these are just copied. They're my copies, but I'm doing the 2014, and then I have this one, which is the Santa's Revised. It's book 195, and it's 1990, 94, and 2005. So I have them all. I have all kitted up to start those 4, and I am stitching it on 14 count Jobel and Ada in the colorway Sandcastle. It's by Witchelt. And this is the fabric. It's kind of, it has a lot of modeling in it. It's very pretty. It almost looks like the color that the charts that the Santas are stitched on. I don't know what they call for fabric is, but it looks pretty close to the call for fabrics. So going to start those this year. I've had them for a while, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pull them out. I'm going to kit it up, and I'm just going to stitch on them. If I get them done, I get them done. If I don't, I don't. All right, the next thing I have kitted up is, let's see where the chart is. I'm not even sure what's in here. Forever and Ever by With Thy Needle and Thread. I think, yeah, this came out at Market, I believe. And I love it. It says, in my heart, forever and ever. And I am going to, so my husband and I, on February 29th, we were married on Leap Day. On February 29th is our anniversary. This year, it will either be 4 years or 1 year, depending on how you look at it. So I want to stitch this as a anniversary wedding sampler for us, and I'll put the date, the year that we were married, and our initials on it. And I am stitching it on parchment is the color. And I may start this on our anniversary, and then have the goal to have it completed by the next anniversary. All right, the next thing in my project bags, this one is by Blackbird's Design. This is my working copy. I do have a picture of the chart, of the picture though, but it is a working copy. It is called Summer Jubilee. This was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine from August 2003. Love it. And I am stitching it on this fabric. This is called Misty Blue. It's kind of a bluish gray color. And so I thought that that would look really good on it. I think the colors will really pop on it. I'd like to get this started this year. I have a couple of patriotic ones in all of this that I'm showing you that hopefully come this summer I will be able to stitch on some of these patriotic ones that I've kitted up. And the next one I have kitted up that is in a project bag is, it's designed by Maggie Bononomi, but it is, copyright is Blackbird Designs, sorry. It's for at Union Forever. Love this. I've loved this chart since I first saw it. It's an older chart. I don't even know if it's still available anymore. And I am stitching it on a piece of tea and coffee dyed fabric that I think I double dunked it. And I am using Victorian Moto threads on it. There is not very many threads. I think there's only 5 colors, 6 colors in it. So those are going to be my colors. I think it will be very pretty. There's that one. So these are in my project bags that I keep in my 3-tiered tray, or my 3-tiered cart. So these ones are charts that I will get to. I hope to start most of these sometime this year. Once I empty a project bag, then I will put one of these projects in that project bag. And we're going to go through these. There's a lot here. Okay, the first thing I have, it's all kitted up. It's on fabric that I tea and coffee dyed. And that is Jack Frost Tree Farm. When this first came out, I absolutely loved it. And I wasn't sure how I want to stitch it, if I wanted to do it in one big piece, all of them individually. But I know how I want to finish it now. So now I can start on this when I get time. But it's all kitted up. Everything's in there. The next thing I have kitted up is, whoops. I have bought all of the monthly thread packs from Little House Needleworks. And again, with these ones, if you buy the thread packs, then you get the chart for free. So I have all of them. I have, so, and they're all, you know, they have the floss, so they're all ready to go. And I actually started one of them last year. This I started out using as a car project. And that's the one, like I said, I started it. And then I put it away, and I don't know, I need to get them out and finish them. I'm stitching it on 14 count oatmeal, I believe is the fabric I'm stitching it on. So I have everything in here ready to go. Put everything back so I don't mix anything up. Anyway, so I have them all together, ready to go. You can just grab it. The next one I have kitted up is all of the Glitter Village charts. This is another one. When it came out, I loved it, but I wasn't sure how I was going to stitch them. Whether I was going to stitch them in one big piece or individually, or how I was going to do them. So it is kitted up, ready to go. I finally decided on my fabric, which is Feldspar by Picture This Plus. think it will be really, really pretty on this. It's kind of a bluish color with some hints of tan in it. And I still don't know how I'm going to finish them, so I haven't started. So that's why they're not started. But it is kitted up. What I'm hoping is that I will see how somebody has done theirs, and I will click and it will say, yeah, that's how I want to do it. So I have it all ready to go. The next one I have kitted up is Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. And when I purchased these charts, I actually purchased the thread pack to go with it. So I have all the threads, all the called for threads. This is another one that I didn't know how I wanted to finish it, so I didn't want to start it. I think I've decided, I know I've decided I'm finishing them individually and probably going to make them into ornaments. And I am stitching them on 14 count. I believe this is raw linen is the colorway. So I think they'll look good. It's pretty close to the color that they're stitched on, that the called for fabric is. So those are all ready to go. Sorry about the crinkling. It is what it is. I like the crinkling sound, so I don't care if somebody crinkles. Okay, the next one I have kitted up is Little House Needleworks Farm Life. When I saw this, I jumped right on it and purchased it. I love this chart. It'll go perfect in my kitchen living area. I have just an open, what do they call it, an open floor plan. It's all one big room. When I stitch this, though, I am not going to put the words in it, and the bottom of the grass is going to be the bottom of the chart of where I stitch. And then it has cows and sheep and ducks, it looks like, in it. And I'm going to add some chickens and probably some pigs, and I'll just pull those out of some other chart. And I am going to stitch it on 14 count oatmeal. All right, next is, this is by Brenda Gervais with the Needle and Thread, Farmhouse Parade. This came out a couple of years ago at Market. Love this. I love the patriotic. I love the farmhouse theme. I'm going to stitch them individually, and I'm going to probably do them as pillows so they can go in my tier tray. And I'm stitching it on, I don't know what color this is, but it's kind of a blue color. Blue, it's kind of a blue-gray, more blue than gray. I think that it will look really good. And I think I'm using all the called for threads on it. DMC conversion is what I'm using on it. All right. Next we have Silver Creek Samplers, my Christmas list. The color I chose, I believe, is parchment. Looks really close to the color it was stitched on. Looks really close to it, but I have been seeing people stitching it on blue and gray, or a blue-gray, and I don't know if I want to stitch it on this now. So this one is kind of undecided. If I change the color of the fabric, I'm going to have to change some of the colors in the words, you know, and the little motifs. So I'm not sure. I'm using, it's a whole DMC, and I'm using all the called for DMC colors. next one, oh, this one is a cutie. This one came out just last month in December. Peppermint Pals by With the Needle and Thread. Have it all kitted up. I love it. I love everything about this chart. I even like the blue fabric. So I went through my stash and found this fabric. It's called Aqua. And I think that will look really, really cute on that. I think the white will just pop on it. This one, I probably am not going to start for a while. Maybe when it's summer and it's 90 degrees outside and I'll wish it was snowing, then I will stitch something like this. Alright, this one is full of all of the wordplay charts and the fabric. The only thing I haven't pulled is the flosses for it, and that's because so I have them all here. And that's because I haven't decided all of my conversion yet. I have, I think through June, decided of my conversion. And so I'll just pull the threads as I'm doing each month on those. Alright, the next one is by Lizzie Kate. This is one I kitted up and was going to start it a couple of years ago, and I just never got to it. So I want to get to this one. So I have a sampler that I started for my birthday, which I showed in my previous video. And when I get that done, if I get it done before my next birthday start, I am always going to have a sampler going. So once I get that done, I'm going to pull another sampler from my basket and work into that rotation. So I can have it on my sampler wall. And this one is Things Unseen. It was the Mystery Sampler by Lizzie Kate. And I have all the charts. I have the embellishments that goes on it. The color I have chosen to stitch this on is Parchment. And it's really close to the color that it was stitched on originally. And I am using the DMC conversion, of course. Alright, the next one is by Brenda Gervais, called Sampler Hill. And this one, I have an aunt and uncle. It was my dad's aunt and uncle. And they raised him from about the time he was 9 years old, I think is when he went to live with them. And so they raised him. And then when I was growing up, they only lived a half a mile from our home. And they were like grandparents to me. And so I think I'm going to stitch this. And I'm going to put their initials and maybe personalize it a little bit for them. And I'm going to make this in honor of them. And I am going to stitch it on, I think this is Parchment. Parchment to me is a really good sampler color. And I'm using all of the DMC conversion on that one. The next one I have is by Blackburst Designs. And it is Feliz Navidad. I'll kit it up. I love this chart. Again, anything Blackbird I love. And this is what I'm stitching it on. I do not know the name of this color. And but I think it will look good on this color. All right, what else do we have? All right, my next one is by With My Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais, called Pink Sparrow Sampler. Love this. I think I bought this off of her website, Country Stitches. And I am stitching this on parchment, sorry. Parchment is the color. Pretty close to the color that the chart is stitched on. The next one is, this one is also by With a Needle and Thread. And I saw on Instagram a lot of people started this as a Christmas start. Noel sampler. Love it. Very simple. This one is very simple, I think. Just a very cute, simple sampler. I am also stitching it on parchment. So I'm excited to start that one. It's going to be hard to decide when I get my other my sampler done. That I have for my birthday start. When I get it done, it's going to be hard to choose which sampler I want to do next. The next one I have is by Blackbird's Designs, and it's called Feast of Friendship. And I am going to stitch this on a piece of fabric I tea and coffee dyed using all of the called for DMC. With the exception of the color for the house and the color for the pumpkin. And for those, I chose, it's the called for colors, but I am going to do them in the overdyes, which is blue corn and pumpkin pie. So I decided, because it's such big blocks of color, and I kind of wanted the variegation of it. I wanted that look on there, so that's why I decided to use the overdyed floss for those things. Getting close to the end. Right, the next thing I have kitted up is Elizabeth Walsh's work by the Scarlet House. And it has the mat, the sewing mat, and then a needle book, and then it has a little scissor fob. And I'm going to make all three of them, and I'm going to finish them just like this. And the fabric I chose for this is just a piece of fabric that I tea and coffee dyed. It's just a very subtle modeling in it. So I think that will be cute with that one. The next one is also by the Scarlet House, and that is called Samplers. Would that be fitting on my sampler wall? And I am going to stitch it on a piece of fabric that looks like I dyed it and then maybe coffee dyed it some. Dunked it in tea and coffee. very cute on that. All right, the next thing is also by Scarlet House. And it is American Homestead Sewing Set. And it has, this little thing is on a horn book. This is a pin pillow. This is on a wooden spool, and then a little scissor fob. And I'm going to finish it just like this. And I even have a wooden spool I think will work. I'm hoping it will work. I've done some calculations and some mathematics, which is not my cup of tea, but I think it'll work. And this is the fabric I chose. It is tea and coffee dyed by me. It is, I think I double dunked it because it is pretty dark. And there is some nice modeling in it too. So I think that will work just fine for that. I think all the colors will pop very well. All right, I think there's like two or three more. Got a piece of, I got a hair in my face. It's tickling my nose, All right, the next one I have is called Autumn Bouquet by Blackbird's Designs. Very pretty autumn sampler. This one should be a quick stitch, I think. The fabric I'm doing it on, I don't know the colorway of this one. But this is the fabric that I'm going to stitch it on. And I am using Victorian motto threads for this one because there's only 4 colors in it. So those are my threads. I think it will turn out just peachy. Peachy. And the last one in my basket is, this one is also by Blackbird's Designs. It's in this book called Home for the Holidays. And I am going to stitch Christmas Garden. I love it. It only calls for 4 colors. Very pretty. And I'm stitching it on, this fabric is very wrinkly. It is fabric that I coffee and tea dyed, but I didn't leave it in very long. And it is also, I didn't iron it. I just kind of stuck it in my bag. So it still has like all the strings and the wrinkles and everything in it. But it's just, it's pretty. It's a pretty color. And I am, since there's only 4 colors, I am using Victorian motto threads. And those are the threads I pulled for it. Kind of a gray, grayish brown, a green, a gold, and a red. I think it will be very pretty on that. Okay, that's it. That's what I've got for you. So, like I said, I don't make plans because I don't want to, I know me, and I don't want to disappoint myself. And if I set myself up to say I'm going to stitch something and then I don't get it done, then I feel bad inside. And so I don't, these are just projects I want to do sooner rather than later. Sooner could be 5 years down the road. But whatever I decide, they're all kitted up, and so anytime I could start them because they have all the threads, all the fabric, everything's in there. One other thing I want to show you. I seen, these are by Chessie and me. One is called Stella's Sleigh Ride, and the other one is Christmas Blessings. So there's Christmas Blessings, and this one is Stella's Sleigh Ride. And I've had these charts for a few months, I believe. I'm not sure when they came out. I'm not sure if they came out this year or not. But I love these. And on Instagram, someone had stitched both of these during Christmas, and they are just so cute. So I am going to get these kitted up and put them in my basket, and maybe I'll start them maybe at Christmas in July, or I don't know, but I would like to have them for next Christmas. And if I can find a sled that they will fit in, I may do pin pillows and put them in a sled. I can't decide if I want to do it this way. Maybe I will find a sled that this one will fit in, and then do the pin pillow and just prop it up beside the sleigh. I don't know. We'll see. The other thing I want to do this year is I want to learn how to make a strawberry. Last year I learned how to do drums, taught myself how to do that, and this year I want to learn how to make a strawberry. So the pattern I chose is My Needleberry by Erica Michaels. I thought that was really cute. It's a bird with a tape measure and threads and needles and pin cushions and just all kinds of things. Of course, I'm going to do it on 14 count Aida, so it will be a big strawberry, but I want to learn how to do that. So I am going to kit this one up and stitch it this year and make it into a strawberry. And I have right there like it's a metal bowl or dough bowl, a fake dough bowl. And I have some pin cushions that I have quilted, one that I've cross stitched. I'll show that to you another day. And this one right there was in my mom's sewing basket when we cleaned out her house, and so I have her pin cushion. And so I want to stitch this and put it in my little basket. So I'm going to kit this up, and I'm going to learn how to make a strawberry this year. All right, hopefully this one loads and I can get it up on YouTube so you guys can watch it. So I will be back maybe next week or the following week, so in a week or two, with a regular update video of everything that I've been working on. So everybody have a happy new year, and we'll see you next time. Bye.